The moment I knew my world had shifted wasn't loud or dramatic. It was a quiet, fleeting glance in the executive lounge of Reynolds Construction. 3 weeks before everything unraveled, my father and brother, their laughter echoing like a private joke, froze when they saw me. That pause, that flicker of guilt in their eyes, whispered a truth I wasn't ready to face. I'm Morgan. And for 20 years, I poured my soul into our family's company, building it into a $100 million empire. But in that instant, I sensed the ground beneath me cracking. And I was right. My father was about to hand my legacy to someone else. What I did next shocked them all. But before I dive in, tell me, where are you reading from? If this story grips you, stick around, there's more to come. I was 9 when Dad first took me to a construction site. My skinny legs dwarfed by steel-toed boots, a hard hat slipping over my eyes. The air hummed with the clatter of cranes, and Dad's voice, warm with promise, said, "One day, Morgan, this could all be yours." I believed him. By 16, while my friends chased summer flings, I was deciphering blueprints in our Portland office, asking foremen about rebar and concrete mixes. At Stanford, my senior thesis on sustainable urban construction won accolades. And 2 weeks after graduation, I was at my desk at Reynolds Construction, ready to earn my place. I wasn't just Richard's daughter, I was Morgan, the woman who landed the Miller Tower deal, putting us on the national stage. I pioneered green building when competitors scoffed. And during the 2008 recession, I steered us through without a single layoff. For 2 decades, I was the heartbeat of our growth, respected by clients and competitors alike. Everyone saw it except, it seemed, my father. The morning of the board meeting dawned crisp, the Portland skyline sharp against a gray sky. I arrived at our downtown headquarters at 6:30 a.m., the quiet hours, my sanctuary for reviewing quarterly projections and polishing my presentation. Today, Dad would announce his retirement and name me CEO, or so I thought. My assistant, Sarah, knocked at 8. Her usual coffee delivery accompanied by a nervous shuffle. "Ready for the big day?" she asked. Setting the cup on my desk, I smoothed my blazer, smiling, as ready as I'll ever be. But Sarah hesitated, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. "It's probably nothing." But Kevin's assistant was copying a different presentation for the board. My pulse quickened, but I kept my voice steady. "Supplemental materials?" "I'm sure. Thanks." Sarah, alone. I stared at my laptop. Kevin's recent curiosity about numbers unusual for someone who preferred golf to spreadsheets gnawing at me. Dad had canceled our weekly strategy lunch 3 times. A first in years. Something was wrong. By noon, Linda, our CFO and my closest ally, confirmed my fears. In her office, she handed me a bound packet, her expression grim. "The board packet came this morning. Look at the succession section." I flipped to the back, my chest tightening. There it was, a recommendation to appoint Kevin as CEO, effective immediately. My brother, who'd spent more time schmoozing clients than studying contracts, was stealing my future. 20 years of sacrifice, and I'd been blindsided. But I wasn't done, not by a long shot. The sting of betrayal lingered like a bruise. But I didn't have time to wallow. In my office, the Portland skyline blurred through the window as I wrestled with shock, hurt, and a simmering anger that threatened to cloud my judgment. I was Morgan, the woman who'd turned Reynolds Construction into a powerhouse. And I wouldn't let my father's misstep or my brother's ambition undo everything I'd built. Closing my eyes, I forced myself to breathe, to think. Emotional reactions wouldn't save the company. I needed evidence, strategy, and leverage. Opening my laptop, I dove into the financials, determined to uncover the truth behind Kevin's sudden rise. What I found was worse than I'd imagined, and it set me on a path that would change everything. I started with the Pacific Heights development, Kevin's pet project, a $65 million mixed-use complex meant to redefine Portland's urban landscape. On paper, it was a triumph, boasting 22% profit margins. But the numbers didn't add up. Construction reports showed delays 3 months behind schedule and costs ballooning by $2 million. Yet Kevin's board presentations painted a rosy picture. I cross-referenced the financial statements with site manager updates, my fingers pausing over the keyboard as the discrepancy glared back at me. Projected profits were inflated, expenses understated. This wasn't sloppy accounting, it was deliberate manipulation. Kevin was cooking the books, presenting fiction to the board and investors. My mind raced. Did Dad know? Had he enabled this to justify Kevin's promotion? The thought twisted like a knife. But I needed more than suspicions. Digging deeper. I pulled up subcontractor invoices and engineering reports. Pacific Heights was plagued by issues unpaid vendors, stop work orders, and structural concerns dismissed by Kevin's team. A chilling realization hit me. These weren't just financial lies, they were safety risks. The foundation reports hinted at inadequate load-bearing supports, buried under Kevin's optimistic summaries. If true, Pacific Heights could be a liability, not a legacy. My hands trembled as I saved the files to a secure drive. This was leverage. But it was also a ticking bomb. I couldn't confront Kevin or Dad without a plan. Not when the company's reputation and hundreds of jobs hung in the balance. That's when I thought of Michael Donovan. For years, his investment firm, Donovan Capital Partners, had circled Reynolds Construction, drawn to our growth but wary of family dynamics. I'd rebuffed his offers. Loyal to our independence. Now, loyalty felt like a luxury I couldn't afford. I found his card on my desk, the embossed letters glinting under the lamplight. My call caught him off guard. Morgan, this is unexpected, he said, his voice smooth but curious. I've been reconsidering your interest in Reynolds, I replied, keeping my tone even despite the storm inside. Lunch tomorrow, Riverside Grill. 10. Oh, a pause. Then, I'll be there. Hanging up. I felt the weight of my decision. This wasn't just a meeting. It was a declaration. I was stepping into a game where the stakes were the company I'd built and the family I'd trusted. As I left the office, the Portland rain misted my coat. The city's pulse steady despite my turmoil. Tomorrow, I'd face Donovan with a proposal that could save Reynolds or tear it apart. But doing nothing wasn't an option. Kevin's deception threatened everything I'd worked for, and I was ready to fight. Not as Richard's daughter, but as Morgan, the leader who'd earned her place. The truth was my weapon, and I was just beginning to wield it. The boardroom's mahogany table gleamed under fluorescent lights, a stage set for a betrayal I could no longer deny. As I entered, the air thickened with anticipation. Every glance a silent question about my reaction. I'd spent the morning steeling myself, my resolve hardened by the evidence of Kevin's deception in the Pacific Heights project. Today, Dad would make his announcement, and I would face the truth head-on. But this wasn't just about losing a title. It was about protecting the company I'd shaped for 2 decades. The silence as I took a seat at the table's far end was deafening, and I knew whatever happened next, I wouldn't bow out quietly. Dad stood at the head, his voice steady with the authority of 40 years in business. Thank you all for being here, he began. Scanning the room, it's time for me to step down as CEO. He paused, and I felt every eye shift toward me. Expecting the inevitable, Reynolds Construction needs a bold new vision, someone to bring fresh ideas. The words hung heavy, and I nearly scoffed. Kevin, with his borrowed plans and golf course charm, was no visionary. That's why I've chosen Kevin as CEO. Effective immediately. The room froze. A collective breath held. Kevin rose, buttoning his suit jacket with a practiced smile. I'm honored. Dad, I won't let you down. I kept my face neutral, a mask forged by sheer will. Even as fury burned within, executives who'd seen my leadership firsthand nodded to Kevin, some avoiding my gaze, others offering fleeting sympathy. Dad finally looked at me. Morgan will remain COO, supporting Kevin's transition, supporting Kevin after building our empire. I was to be his crutch. The meeting adjourned in a blur of congratulations and awkward glances. Linda, our CFO, caught my eye. her expression a mix of outrage and solidarity. I gave her a subtle nod. This wasn't over. As the room emptied, I approached Dad, who busied himself with papers, perhaps hoping to dodge me. "We need to talk," I said, my voice low but unyielding. He sighed, his shoulders sagging. "Not now." "Morgan," when I pressed, "after Kevin settled into my office, or after he runs the company into the ground." His eyes flashed. "That's enough." This wasn't decided lightly. I stepped closer, my words measured but sharp. "Then explain why you'd choose someone who's never led a project over the person who's driven every major success for years." He straightened, meeting my gaze. "Kevin needs this chance to prove himself. You'll guide him." I stared, disbelief surging. "So this is about Kevin's ego, not what's best for Reynolds." His jaw tightened. "Family supports family." "Morgan," I laughed. A hollow sound. Funny how that only flows one way. Turning to leave, I paused at the door. "You always said Reynolds was about excellence, about earning your place. I guess that was just talk." His flinch offered no comfort. This wasn't about wounding him, it was about saving what I'd built. Back in my office, I closed the door, the weight of the moment pressing down. My hands gripped the desk, steadying the tremor of rage and resolve. The company-wide email announcing Kevin's appointment would land soon. But I wasn't defeated. Dad's decision was a mistake. And Kevin's Pacific Heights mess was my opening. I opened my laptop, pulling up the financial discrepancies I'd uncovered. The fight was just beginning. And I'd play to win not for spite, but for the 500 employees and the legacy I'd sworn to protect. The Riverside Grill's private booth offered a sanctuary of muted elegance. Its dark wood and soft lighting a stark contrast to the storm brewing inside me. I arrived early, sipping sparkling water, my mind rehearsing the high-stakes pitch I'd delivered to Michael Donovan. Yesterday's boardroom betrayal had lit a fire, and Kevin's Pacific Heights deception gave me the ammunition I needed. This lunch wasn't just a negotiation, it was a calculated move to reclaim the company's future. As I smoothed my charcoal suit, I felt the weight of every blueprint I'd studied. Every deal I'd closed. Reynolds Construction deserved better than nepotism. And I was about to prove it. Michael strode in at precisely 1-0, his salt and pepper hair and confident gait marking him as a man who thrived on opportunity. His smile was polite, but his eyes were sharp, scanning for leverage. "Morgan." A pleasant surprise. He said, sliding into the booth, "I thought you'd never return my calls." I matched his tone. Calm, but direct. "Circumstances change." "Michael." He ordered a scotch. "Neat." And leaned back. "I heard about Kevin's promotion. Unexpected." No, I kept my expression even. News travels fast. Producing a single-page financial summary. I slid it across the table. "Here's where Reynolds stands revenue. Projects. Growth projections." He glanced at it. Unimpressed. "I've seen these. Impressive. But why the sudden openness to investment?" I chose my words with precision. "We're at a crossroads. To sustain our trajectory, we need capital for expansion. Strategic partnerships make sense." His amusement flickered. "Strategic partnerships. Let's be frank. Your brother's CEO. And you're here. What's the real play?" Honesty was my best card. Pacific Heights is hemorrhaging money 3 months behind. $2 million over budget. The financials reported to investors are creative. His interest sharpened. Creative enough to cause trouble. I nodded. If the real numbers surfaced, we'd face serious issues. I'm here to ensure Reynolds survives under leadership that can handle it. Our conversation paused as the server took our orders. Salmon for me. Ribeye for him. Alone again. I laid out my proposal. Donovan Capital invests $30 million for a 30% stake. Contingent on a restructured board with authority to appoint the CEO based on merit. Michael swirled his scotch. Thoughtful. You think your father will agree to diluting family control? I leaned forward. The alternative is worse. Pacific Heights discrepancies could be seen as fraud if they go public. I'm offering a solution that protects everyone. He studied me. Recalculating. Bold move. Morgan, I'll need to verify your claims. I handed him a thumb drive with the financial gaps I'd uncovered. Everything you need for due diligence. The next morning, a text from an unknown number jolted me awake. Robert Chen, Pacific Heights developer, requesting a meeting at a 4th and Pine coffee shop. Chen, sharp-featured and all business, slid a thumb drive across the table. Emails, texts, recordings. Proof Kevin pushed for cheaper materials and buried structural warnings. He said, his voice low, the foundation issues are worse than reported. Without fixes. It's a safety hazard. My stomach churned. This wasn't just mismanagement. It was reckless endangerment. Why me? I asked. Chen shrugged. Your father's backing Kevin blindly. I'm protecting my firm. I pocketed the drive, promising to review it. His evidence was dynamite, amplifying my leverage. That afternoon, Kevin's executive meeting was a masterclass in incompetence. In the conference room, he fumbled through project updates, oblivious to Pacific Heights' stop work order and vendor disputes. We're projecting 22% margins. He boasted. I interjected. Voice calm but cutting. It's closer to 15%. Assuming we fix the foundation issues, the project is $2 million over budget. The room stilled. Executives exchanging alarmed glances. Kevin's face reddened. That's inaccurate. I pressed on. Then why do our lender reports differ from yours? That raises questions about disclosure practices. His jaw clenched. But he couldn't counter. The team saw through him. And I saw my opening widen. As I left the meeting, Linda whispered, You've got them rattled. Good. Chen's evidence and Kevin's blunders were aligning my pieces. The boardroom was no longer Dad's domain. It was mine to claim. The air in Dad's modernist Portland home was thick with tension. The floor-to-ceiling windows framing a dusk that mirrored my resolve. I clutched Robert Chen's thumb drive and Michael Donovan's term sheet. Each a weapon in the battle to save Reynolds Construction, Kevin's executive meeting blunder and Chen's damning evidence had tipped the scales. But now, in Dad's study, I faced the final reckoning. Kevin's sleek German car in the driveway signaled he was already here. Plotting his defense. Voices spilled out Kevin's sharp with accusation. Dad's weary with restraint. I pushed the door open. Their heads snapping toward me. I'm telling them the truth, I said. My voice a calm blade. This wasn't just about leadership. It was about accountability. And I was done playing by their rules. Dad stood behind his desk. Exhaustion etching lines deeper into his face. Kevin glared. His tie askew. Eavesdropping now, he snapped. Hard to miss when you're shouting. I countered. Setting my portfolio down, I turned to Dad. I met with Chen this morning. He provided proof of Kevin's orders to skimp on Pacific Heights structural supports and falsify reports. I placed the thumb drive on the desk. Its weight belying its power. Emails. Texts. Recordings, all showing Kevin's reckless calls. Kevin lunged forward. That's a lie. Chen's covering his failures. I held his gaze. Shall we play the recording where you tell the finance team to massage the numbers? His face paled. Dad's frown deepened. What's this about? Morgan? I kept my tone factual. Kevin directed cost-cutting that compromised safety. Then hid the truth from investors. It's fraud, Dad. And it endangers lives. Dad sank into his chair, gesturing for the drive. As he scrolled through the evidence, Kevin paced, his excuses crumbling. I was protecting the project. He insisted. Dad's voice was flat. You lied to me. To the board, I slid the term sheet forward. Donovan Capital offers $30 million for a 30% stake to fix Pacific Heights and fund growth, but it requires a board that appoints the CEO on merit. Not family ties. Kevin scoffed. A coup to steal my job. I snapped back. It's about saving the company you're destroying. Before Dad could respond, my phone buzzed a text from Linda Channel 8 sniffing Pacific Heights issues. The leak source is unknown. My heart raced. There's more. I told them, the media's onto Pacific Heights' structural flaws. And inspectors are coming. Kevin's eyes widened. Guilt flickering. Dad rubbed his temples. You didn't leak this. The question stung, but I shook my head. I want solutions, not scandals. He studied the term sheet. Then me. This dilutes our control, better than bankruptcy or lawsuits. I said, after a long silence. He nodded. I'll sign. But I want amendments, a right to buy back Donovan's stake. Kevin on the board. And a formal succession plan. I agreed. Relief mingling with weariness. Kevin stormed out, muttering about fixing things. Hours later, Michael called. Kevin's at Sullivan Development, offering his 15% shares to block our deal. Fury surged. But I was ready. In our office, I huddled with our legal team, confirming our right of first refusal, restructure Donovan's deal. I instructed, same $30 million, smaller stake. Use the difference to buy Kevin out. By evening, Kevin strode into the conference room, tossing Sullivan's offer on the table. They'll pay 15% above market. He declared, I slid our buyout papers across. We'll match it. You're out. His bravado faltered. You can't afford this. We can, I said, detailing the adjusted deal. Defeated. He demanded conditions, a press release framing his exit as a choice, health insurance for a year, and our Aspen home. Dad nodded. Voice firm. Sign. Kevin, it's final. Kevin scrawled his name, his shoulders slumping. Don't ruin it. Morgan. I met his gaze. I won't. Later. In Dad's garden. The Japanese maple glowed crimson. I was wrong. He said softly. Kevin's not the leader you are. Your mother saw it, your vision. You're steel. His words mended something raw. Will you back me? I asked. He squeezed my shoulder. It's yours to lead. As we walked back, a text from Linda warned of inspector's findings. The fight wasn't over. But I had the reins now. 2 weeks later, I stood in Reynolds Construction's lobby, the hum of anticipation from our staff grounding me. The board's unanimous vote had made me CEO, a title I'd earned through battle. Addressing the crowd, I spoke with quiet conviction. We've faced trials, but they've forged our strength. Pacific Heights will be rebuilt right. With new management and transparency, Donovan Capital's partnership fuels our push into sustainable construction, and our new board ensures merit drives decisions. I paused, addressing whispers. Kevin's pursuing new paths. With our support, change is growth. Applause rose. And Dad's nod from the front row carried a respect I'd long craved, not as his daughter, but as his equal. That evening, in my new office, the Portland skyline sparkled against the dusk. Dad arrived. 2 glasses and a bottle of single malt scotch in hand. A toast. He said, pouring, Your mother always said you'd build something extraordinary. We clinked glasses, the amber liquid catching the light, to leading wiser than I did. He added, I smiled, the moment sealing a shift, not just in title, but in how we saw each other. He left me to my work. Updated Pacific Heights plans spread across my desk. Alone, I turned to the window. The city's silhouette a testament to our legacy. Those buildings, born of our sweat and vision, stood firm despite our flaws. The road ahead held challenges remediating Pacific Heights, navigating Donovan's expectations, fending off rivals like Sullivan, but I wasn't fighting family politics anymore. I had a board aligned with excellence, a team trusting my lead, and the clarity of a path earned, not given. As the sun dipped below the horizon, I whispered to the empty room. This is just the beginning. Reynolds Construction would rise stronger, not as a family heirloom, but as a beacon of what merit could build, and I was ready to shape its future.
I'm sprawled on the couch, legs aching from standing all day. Work was a grind, and all I want is to melt into the cushions, maybe scroll some X posts, numb my brain. My phone buzzes, though. The screen lights up. Uncle Tom. Weird. He's not the texting type. Calls, sure, holidays, birthdays, but random messages? Number I swipe it open. You need to see this, Olivia. I'm sorry, he says. My stomach does a little flip. Sorry for what? Heart's already thudding. I don't like this. but I'm too curious. Fingers shaky, I tap the video. There she is, Sarah, my little sister, 25 and smug as hell, lounging in a lawn chair. Mom and Dad's backyard. I know it from the crooked oak tree, the faded patio table. She's got a drink in hand, ice clinking, grin stretched wide like she owns the world. Come on, she's saying, voice sharp with that edge she gets when she's performing. Olivia's too dumb to ever kick me out. She just lets me stay there rent-free like an idiot. Laughter cuts through, Cousin Jake's hyena cackle, Lindsay's high-pitched giggle, even Dad chuckles, low and gruff. My chest tightens. I hit replay. She's rolling her eyes now, dramatic, like she's on some reality show. She really thinks I'm struggling. Poor little me can't afford my own place, please. I make way more than she even knows, but why waste my money when my idiot sisters got me covered? More laughter. My stomach twists into knots. I'm gripping the phone so hard my knuckles go white. 3 years. 3 damn years she's been crashing in my house, my space. Said she needed help, rough breakup, lost her lease, tears streaming down her face on that call. I just need a little time, Liv, she swore. I'll get back on my feet soon. And I bought it, opened my doors, no rent, no bills, just a roof over her head while she figured it out. Now she's laughing at me on camera, smug and carefree. I hit replay again. Her words slice deeper each time. Too dumb, an idiot. My reality tilts. I'm not tired anymore. I'm awake. I'm still on the couch, but it's like the air's gone thick. Phone's hot in my hand. Sarah's voice echoes in my skull. Too dumb to ever kick me out. I can't unhear it, can't unsee that grin, smug like she's won something. I tap replay, 3rd time, maybe 4th. Her drink sloshes as she leans back. I make way more than she even knows, she says, head shaking in fake pity. Why waste my money when my idiot sister lets me live for free? Laughter again. Jake's louder this time. Dad's chuckle stabs me right in the gut. My house, my rules, my kindness, and she's been playing me. 3 years. Rewind it. She moved in October 2022. Bags dumped in my spare room, eyes red from crying. I just need a little time, Liv, she'd said, voice cracking. I hugged her, told her, stay as long as you need. I meant it back then, thought I was being a good sister, thought family's supposed to help. Now I see it. She didn't need me. She wanted easy. Free rent, free food, my oat milk vanishing every week, my Netflix account hijacked for her late-night binges. I let it slide every time. Stomach's a knot now. Chest feels hollow. I should be shaking mad, screaming, throwing something, but I'm not. I'm still. Air suffocating, but I'm calm, eerie calm, like the quiet before a storm. Phone buzzes again. Uncle Tom. I wasn't sure if I should send this, but you needed to know. I stare at it, fingers hovering. Old me wants to text Sarah, what the hell? Give her a chance to explain. Maybe she was drunk. Maybe she didn't mean it. Old me always gave her the benefit, always smoothed it over. But new me, the one staring at this smug little video, new me's done. I type back, thank you, don't say anything to her, I'll handle it. Hit send. Screen goes dark. I lean back. Couch creaks under me. Mind's racing. She's been lying to my face, 3 years, pretending to struggle, milking me dry while she laughs behind my back. I make way more than she even knows. That's the kicker. She's got money, good money, and I'm the fool who didn't ask questions. I don't sleep that night. Eyes on the ceiling, shadows stretch across the room. Every creak's her coming home, but she doesn't. She's probably still out, partying on my dime. I should be furious. Tears should be coming. Rage should be boiling over. But it's not. It's just this quiet, cold thing settling in my bones. I'm not the idiot she thinks I am, not anymore. She's got no idea what's coming. I almost smile at that. Morning hits, soft light through the blinds. I'm in the kitchen, coffee's brewing, same routine, but I'm different. Sarah strolls in, clueless, stretching her arms dramatically. Morning, she yawns. Damn, I slept like a baby last night. That guest bed's too comfortable. I smile, glad to hear it. She doesn't suspect a thing. She's got no idea I know. She grabs my oat milk, pours coffee, hums like she owns the place. 3 years of this, her taking, me giving, no questions, no pushback. I sip my coffee slow, watching her. So, what's your plan this month? I ask, casual, like it's nothing. She frowns. What do you mean? Oh, I shrug. You've been here a while now. I figured you might be thinking about your next steps. Looking for a new place, maybe. She lets out a dramatic groan. Ugh, Liv, I have so much on my plate right now. Moving's the last thing I need to deal with. Plus, it's so expensive. Expensive. I fight the urge to laugh. She could afford it. I know that now. But I keep my face neutral. I get that, I say. But I was thinking maybe it's time for some changes around here. She barely looks up from her phone. What kind of changes? I let the silence stretch, just long enough for a flicker of tension to creep in. Then, same casual tone. Well, starting next month, I think it makes sense for you to start paying rent. She freezes, just for a second, then lets out a breathy laugh. Wait, are you serious? I tilt my head. Yeah, you've been here 3 years, Sarah, rent-free. I figured it was time. She scoffs. Come on, Liv, we're family. You really expect me to pay rent? I hold my coffee cup just beneath my lips, watching her. Yes. The word lands sharp. She leans back, face twisting between amusement and disbelief. Wow, okay. I just wasn't expecting you to pull something like this. Something like this. I've let her stay here out of kindness, out of love, and she's laughed at me for it. Now she's acting like I'm the bad guy. I force a light chuckle. It's not really a big deal, Sarah. Just basic rent, nothing crazy. I thought maybe $1,200 a month would be fair. She's got no clue what's coming. Sarah's jaw drops, coffee cup hovering midair. $1,200? That's insane, she says, voice pitching up like I've just asked for her kidney. I raise an eyebrow, leaning against the counter. Not really, it's actually below market rate for this area. You're getting a steal, honestly. She slams her cup down, liquid sloshing over the rim. Are you seriously doing this to me after everything? She snaps, eyes narrowing. I rinse my mug in the sink, calm as ever. Everything? I've let you live here 3 years, Sarah. No rent, no bills. I figured it's time you chipped in. She scoffs, crossing her arms. We're family, Liv. You really expect me to pay rent like some random tenant? I turn to face her, drying my hands on a towel. Yes. The word hangs there, sharp and final. She leans back in her chair, disbelief twisting her face into something almost comical. Wow, okay. I just wasn't expecting you to pull something like this. Something like this. Like I'm the one being unreasonable. I've given her a free ride out of kindness, out of love, and she's laughed at me behind my back, called me a fool. Now she's acting like I've betrayed her. I force a light chuckle, keeping my tone even. It's not a big deal, Sarah, just basic rent, nothing crazy, $1,200 a month. Fair, right? She shakes her head, setting her coffee down with a sharp clink. Fair? Are you kidding me? I can't believe you're hitting me with this now. Her voice rises, but I don't flinch. I've seen the video, heard her bragging. I know she can afford it. I'm not hitting you with anything, I say, folding the towel neatly. I'm just asking for what's reasonable. You've got a job. You've been here long enough. She stares at me, mouth slightly open, like she's waiting for me to crack, to say I'm joking. I don't. You've really changed, huh? She mutters, almost to herself, but loud enough for me to hear. I tilt my head, meeting her gaze. Maybe. Or maybe I've just stopped letting you walk all over me. That lands harder than I expect. Her nostrils flare, and for a second I see the gears turning. She's scrambling for a way to flip this back on me. But I'm not the pushover she thinks. Look, I add, casual again. I'm giving you a heads up. Plenty of time to get your finances in order before next month. She blinks, still processing, still expecting me to cave like I always have. I won't. I walk past her, leaving the kitchen quiet except for the drip of her spilled coffee. She doesn't know it yet, but this is just the beginning. A few days pass, and Sarah's avoiding me like I've got the plague. Normally, she's all over the house, sprawled on my couch, blasting Netflix, leaving dishes for me to clean. But now she's scarce, slipping in and out like a ghost. I feel her anger simmering, radiating off her in clipped hellos and slammed doors. She's not used to this, not used to me saying no. I've been too soft for too long, and one little shift has her cracking. Good. Let her feel it. Friday night, I'm curled up in the living room with a book when she storms in. No warning, just raw irritation. So, she says, crossing her arms, are you really serious about this rent thing? I look up, unfazed, setting my book down. Yeah, why wouldn't I be? She scoffs, pacing back and forth like a caged animal. I just don't get why you're doing this now after 3 years. It makes no sense. I lean back, meeting her gaze. It makes perfect sense, Sarah. You have a job. You make good money. There's no reason you shouldn't be contributing. Her lips curl, frustration bubbling over. We're family, Liv. Family helps each other. You're really going to treat me like some random tenant. I don't flinch. You're living here like a tenant. Why shouldn't you pay like one? Her nostrils flare again, and I can see her grasping for control. Then, like clockwork, she switches tactics. She sighs, dramatic and heavy, softening her voice. Look, I know I joke around a lot. Maybe I don't always show it, but I appreciate you, okay? I've just been going through a lot. Classic Sarah, the guilt trip. I tilt my head, playing along. A lot? She nods, rubbing her temples like the world's weighing her down. Yeah, work stress, personal stuff, life. I don't talk about it much because I don't want to burden you. I let that sit for a moment, then say, So, you have the money then? She blinks, caught off guard. What? You said it's life stress, not financial, I point out, voice light. So, paying rent shouldn't be an issue, right? Her face twitches, just for a second, before she masks it. I mean, technically, yeah, I could pay it, she admits, waving a hand. But why should I? You don't even need the money, Liv. There it is. She doesn't think she owes me anything. I smile, slow and amused. It's not about whether I need it, Sarah. It's about fairness. She rolls her eyes, bitter laugh escaping. Oh my God, fairness? Are you serious right now? I nod, calm as ever. Dead serious. She's not winning this one, and she knows it. The first of the month rolls in quiet, but Sarah doesn't. She stomps into the kitchen that morning, acting like nothing's changed, pouring coffee, grabbing one of my protein bars, flopping onto the couch with her phone. She's relaxed, smug even, thinking I've backed down, that my rent talk was just a bluff she'd outlasted. She's wrong. At exactly 9 a.m., her phone buzzes. I watch from across the room, sipping my coffee as she frowns at the screen. She taps it, scrolls, then sits up straight. What the hell? She mutters, turning her phone toward me. Liv, I just got an email from some rental management company. What is this? I set my mug down, calm as ever. All right, that's your lease agreement. Her mouth falls open. My what? Lease agreement, I repeat, like it's the most normal thing in the world. Since you said you weren't paying rent, I decided to formalize everything. That email's your rental contract with the property management company I hired? She blinks, scrolling frantically. This says my first rent payment's due today, I nod, leaning back. That's right. I figured I'd make it official. She lets out a sharp, bitter laugh. Oh my God, you're insane. I raise an eyebrow, unfazed. No, Sarah, I'm just done being taken advantage of. Her laughter fades, and I see the cracks forming, confidence slipping, mind racing for an out. She flips tactics, softening her voice, pressing a hand to her chest like I've wounded her. Liv, come on, you're my sister. I thought we were supposed to support each other. I don't budge. We are, and for 3 years I supported you completely, without asking for a thing in return. She swallows hard, eyes darting. But I wasn't expecting this. You never gave me a warning. I let out a small laugh. I gave you a full month's notice, Sarah. That's more than fair. Her face twists, anger flaring again. I don't have the money for this right now. I tilt my head, watching her squirm. That's interesting, because last week I heard you on the phone, bragging about buying VIP tickets to that music festival next month. Her mouth snaps shut, color draining from her face. Gotcha. I lean forward slightly. So, you have the money. You just don't want to pay me, she stammers. That's not... I hold up a hand, cutting her off. Look, Sarah, you've got 2 options. You can sign the lease and start paying rent like a normal adult, or you can move out. Simple. Her jaw tightens, seething now, but she knows I mean it. And if I don't do either? She hisses, testing me. I smile, calm and steady. Then, as per the lease terms, you'll get a 14-day notice to vacate. And if you still don't leave, well, I'll have to file for eviction. Her eyes go wide. Eviction? She spits, like the word's an insult. You'd actually do that to me? I would, I say simply, because you did this to yourself. She jumps up, pacing, muttering, I cannot believe you're doing this. I pick up my coffee again, voice cheerful. Believe it. Oh, and if you don't pay by end of day, that 14-day notice hits tomorrow morning. She's got nowhere to run now. Sarah doesn't come home that night, or the next, or the one after that. It's her style. Run away, dodge the mess, hope it fixes itself. I'm not surprised. She's always ducked responsibility, banking on me to clean it up. But I'm not her safety net anymore. I'm her landlord now, and I'm ready. 3 days later, it's late, almost midnight, when the front door creaks open. I'm on the couch, laptop glowing, pretending to work, but I'm waiting. She steps in, heels kicked off hard against the wall, hair messy like she hasn't slept. Her eyes lock on me, and I see it, fury, raw and unfiltered, simmering behind the exhaustion. She drops her purse on the counter with a thud. We need to talk, she says, voice tight. I close my laptop slow, leaning back. I'm listening. She folds her arms, glaring. You really filed the paperwork? I nod, calm as ever. Yes. She lets out a dry laugh, shaking her head. Jesus, Liv, you're seriously evicting me. I raise an eyebrow, meeting her gaze. No, Sarah, I gave you options. You just didn't like them. She steps closer, frustration spilling over. I was gone for 3 days. You didn't even try to talk to me before doing this. I tilt my head, voice steady. Funny, I seem to remember you walking out mid-conversation. Her hands clench into fists. You don't get it. I was figuring things out. Figuring things out, I repeat, smirking. Like how to keep living here for free? She flushes red, opening her mouth to argue, but stops. She knows I've got her. Instead, she switches gears, softening her tone, eyes flickering with something like fear. Look, she says, quieter now. I messed up, okay? I shouldn't have said what I said. I was just venting. I didn't mean it. I don't flinch. Yes, you did. She hesitates, voice faltering. No, You called me an idiot, Sarah. I cut in, sharp but controlled. You laughed about how I was too dumb to kick you out. You bragged about playing me for a fool. She looks away, swallowing hard. I heard it, I continue. I watched you say it. So did Uncle Tom. Her head snaps up, eyes wide. You told him? I laugh, short and dry. He told me. Her mouth opens, but nothing comes out. She's caught, exposed, no lies left to spin. She exhales sharply, pacing again. Okay, I get it, I screwed up. I stay silent, watching her unravel. She stops, staring at me, desperation creeping in. I don't have anywhere to go, Liv. I don't break. I've saved her too many times. I pull up an email on my laptop, scrolling. Actually, I say, that's not true. She frowns. What? I took the liberty of looking into some affordable apartments nearby, I explain, clicking a listing. 3 places within 10 miles, all in your budget. I even talked to a landlord. He'll waive the security deposit if you apply this week. Her jaw tightens, anger flaring again. I can't believe you did that, I shrug. Why wouldn't I? You've got a job. You make good money, remember? She scoffs, shaking her head. You're actually enjoying this, aren't you? I meet her gaze, voice calm. No, Sarah, but I am done being used. She storms off, slamming her bedroom door. She's out of moves, and we both know it. Sarah's quiet the next day, no snarky jabs, no passive-aggressive sighs, just silence as she packs. I catch glimpses of her hauling boxes, stuffing clothes into a suitcase, but she barely looks at me. It's fine. She's spent years treating me like a doormat, taking my kindness for granted. Now she's facing the consequences, and it's sinking in. That night, I find her in the living room, half-empty suitcase beside her, staring at nothing. She looks small, almost lost, no trace of the smug sister from the video. I hesitate, then sit across from her, the air heavy between us. Sarah, I say, breaking the silence. She glances up, eyes tired. What? I study her, the tension in her shoulders, the shadows under her eyes. I don't hate you, I say quietly. She snorts, shaking her head. Could have fooled me. I sigh, leaning forward. I just wish things had been different. She frowns, looking down at her hands. Yeah, she mutters, me too. I let the silence stretch, then add, You know, I didn't do this to hurt you. Her jaw tightens. It still feels like you did. I nod slowly, letting that sit. Maybe. But think about it, Sarah. If I hadn't stopped this now, when would you have left? Would you have ever left? Her lips part, but no answer comes. She knows I'm right. She's been comfortable, coasting on my generosity, happy to let it go on forever. If Uncle Tom hadn't sent that video, I'd still be the fool in her game. She exhales, rubbing her temples. I don't know, okay? She trails off, shaking her head. You're smart, Sarah, I say, voice steady. You're capable. You've had the means to take care of yourself for a long time. So why didn't you? She swallows, looking away. Because it was easy, she admits, barely audible. You always made it easy. I sit back, nodding. And that's exactly why I had to stop. She stares at me, a long moment passing, then lets out a quiet laugh. Guess I can't call you an idiot anymore. I smirk, a flicker of warmth breaking through. No, you can't. For the first time in years, we sit there, without manipulation, without lies. Just 2 sisters, raw and real. It's not perfect, but it's something. The next morning, she's gone. No dramatic exit, just a packed suitcase, a closed bedroom door, and a text an hour later. I'm out. Good luck, Liv. I stare at it, locking my phone. I'm not angry, not relieved, just done. The house feels lighter already, like it's mine again. She's on her own now, and maybe that's what she needed all along. A week later, the house is quiet. No slamming doors, no missing groceries, no Sarah sprawling across my space. It's just me, and the silence wraps around like a long overdue hug. I walk through the rooms, footsteps echoing, feeling the weight lift. For years, I let her take up my home, my peace, and I didn't even see it. Now, it's mine again. A knock at the door pulls me back. I open it to Uncle Tom, standing there with a knowing smile. "Well," he says, hands in his pockets. "How's it feel?" I smile back. "Peaceful." He chuckles, stepping inside. "I bet." He glances around, nodding approval. "Looks better already." I laugh, leaning against the counter. "I think so, too." He turns to me, expression softening. "I know that wasn't easy, kid, but you did the right thing." I sigh, folding my arms. "Then why does it still feel weird?" He tilts his head, wise eyes steady on mine. "Because she's your sister." I nod, letting that sink in. "Yeah," I say, voice quiet. "She's my sister." He steps closer, resting a hand on my shoulder. "But that doesn't mean she was good for you. And it damn sure doesn't mean you had to keep letting her use you." I look down, processing his words, then meet his gaze again. "Do you think she'll be okay?" He lets out a slow breath, shrugging. "She'll have to be." He's right. Sarah's been forced to stand on her own, maybe for the first time ever. She can't lean on me anymore, and that's not my burden to carry. I gave her chances, kindness, options. She chose this. That night, I sit on the couch with a glass of wine, staring out the window at the quiet street beyond. The stillness feels new, unfamiliar, but good. For years, I gave and gave, got nothing but manipulation in return. Now, I'm free. I take a sip, smiling to myself. Sarah laughed about playing me for a fool, bragged about how dumb I was. She underestimated me, thought I'd never push back. Now she's learning the hard way. I'm not that sister anymore. The wine's smooth on my tongue, the house silent except for my breathing. Freedom settles in my bones, warm and steady. I've earned this, my space, my peace, my life. She's out there figuring it out, and I'm here, done playing the fool. For the first time in a long time, I feel whole,